Hello, welcome to my channel TechNet Buddy. If possible, please subscribe my channel for upcoming videos related to Cisco technologies and other vendor technologies. So today we are going to configure Cisco SDA network. It's a basically Cisco defined software access network is there. In this we are not configuring the device by using CLI, but there is an option you can do it, but most probably we don't do it by using CLI. We do by using Cisco Catalyst Center or Cisco DNS Center in the both terms. Now they're calling it Cisco Catalyst Center. Earlier the name was Cisco DNS Center. You have to have a full managed DNS center working in order to configure the network. So in our lab, we don't have the full-fledged DNS infrastructure right now. We just have only one controller, not multiple controller. It's not acting like a cluster mode. It's just a single controller as based on the lab environment. So in this lab, we're going to configure two fabric Watson and fabric Dagon. So the fabric means is that like you're going to configure a in a overlay network on especially a VXLAN network on the top of um, your underlay network. That is basically we have already built up an underlay network called OSPF network. So it's a like a OSPF zero relationship is OSPF area zero because we are having a relationship between switch 1, switch 2 and switch 3 via OSPF. It's simple OSPF commands are there. It's just a network. So that's exactly what we have built it up right until now, and this is all point to point links, so there is nothing, and no VLANs are passing. So these all links are specially L3 links, like a L3 point to point connectivity, and OSPF type is as point to point. So in this scenario we're going to have switch 1 and switch 2 will act like a border node. However, the switch 2 is also going to act like a switch 1 and switch 2 is going to act like a controller also, and the switch 2 will also act like an edge node. Here only switch 3 will be acting like an edge node. It will not be having a controller module or nothing. Here is a like a switch 4 is a like a sandwich. We're going to have all the module working on it. Okay, control module, border module, as well as edge. So all the functions will be taken care by switch 4. It's like a sandwich. Okay, so let's start configuring okay, we do have DSCP server that is going to assign an IP address to these to the PCs, the guest PCs, the PC2. So we in this scenario we're going to have two VRF. One will be corporate, another will be guest. Okay, it's just to emulate the environment of your local environment or production environment. So there might be chances you might be having different more VRFs. So as per the lab, we are trying to restrain for having too many VLANs. So an L3 connectivity is going to happen from GIG to BGP router. That exactly I'm going to show you later on. This later on the things. Okay, most probably we have already configured RTR router. That is RTR router will be acting like a router between the switch, like a fabric. Data want to talk to fabric version. They need to have some kind of router to route the traffic, especially inside the domain. They can route it easily, but outside the domain we need to have a carrier edge router, like it could be carrier edge router, what we say, or it could be an MPLS router or whatever. So you can have your SD-WAN infrastructure working there, and after that we are emulating like an internet gateway. Well, the Cisco has been working especially very hard, especially on doing SD-WAN configure like SDA infrastructure. In SDA, like a Catalyst Center, you can monitor your health check of your routers and everything. At the same time, you can configure it. So, and top of that, if you're having some kind of DevOps or something, you can even though connect it to the to the DNS center or Catalyst Center. So let me log into DNS center like a Catalyst Center. Okay. So it's just and I do have an ISE integrated with the DNS center, so everything is working. And this is a lab where I'm hosting the routers in emulated environment. Now let us once you log into the infrastructure, you will find it this queuing. Okay, there might be some license are missing, that's okay. You're having a P1 connectivity, L1 or whatever, so probably there are errors are there. So let's start the configuration. We have already provisioned the devices. inside the infrastructure like this: switch 1, switch 2, switch 3. So we have already provisioned them. I have created two sites here. I'll just show you. I have created an area called Dubai. Inside an area Dubai, I have created two building, Dera and Warsan. It is very simple to create. Click on this, add building, add area. After the area, you can, once you click on area, you can add as many building as you want. So we have already added two building, and there are devices that has been assigned to this building. Let me show you the provision infrastructure. So we have already provisioned the devices. One is Warsan, one is Warsan, one is Warsan, Dera. So let's start the game. So right now, what exactly we're going to do it? We're going to provision the fabric. Let's start from provisioning the fabric. We're gonna have click on the, you need to go here on the three lines. Okay, then go to provision and then go to fabric sites. Right now we don't have any fabric site configured here. Let's create the fabric site. Okay, there are two fabric sites that we need to create, one for Dera and one for Warsan, as per our understanding of this diagram. Let's start with the Dera. So we don't have to do anything here. Let's start the game. Now you need to, here we are not going to do kind of any kind of authentication at this specific at this video, so we're going to make it none. Okay, then here in the latest model of fabric we are having a called fabrics zone. Okay, zone is something that you are going to, let's take you have a building of 3 floors, and each and every independent floor you're making a zone, floor 1, floor 2. So just to um, keep keep saving the CPU and memory resources. Okay, so you don't put all your infrastructure of your virtual interface into the switch or the anycast gateways. So I'm not going to create any kind of zone right now, so I will just set it later. So I will just have one um, single um, one single fabric only. So here we are having a Dera Dubai zone. We are having a we didn't enable the wire authentication, nothing. We have enabled the wire data collection, enable authentication, no authentication, fabric zone, no fabric zone. Then we're gonna click it next, click it deploy, click it next. It's just click and everything will gonna be started for you. No worries. Here we have to wait for some time, because even though in real DNS center environment you have to wait, it does take some time to configure. So now the fabric has been creation successfully. Now we're going to create another fabric. View fabric site. So the fabric is created. Now we can create a fabric site from here also. Now we have created Dera. Now we're going to create Warsan as a fabric site. Let's start creating the fabric site for Warsan. Now everything we're going to have selected none. So we are not going to do anything. We are just selecting none. Okay, fabric site zone is later. Now see the fabric location site Deva Warsan, Warsan endpoint, everything should be same like how we did last time. And you can specify the task name, but I don't have to specify. Let it be default. Nobody specify the task name. If you have some kind of configuration control parameters or something, device an application that is doing, you can put some kind of from some information from that software. Now it's going to take some time. It's done. Fabric creation has been done. Now either we go via fabric site here. Now we have a two fabric site. One is Dera and one is Warsan. Let's start configuring the Warsan side. So see, right now we have three switches: switch 1, switch 2, switch 3. Okay, one thing, sometimes you get a message here that you cannot you cannot put this infrastructure into fabric. At that time, what are you gonna do it? Okay, you will get a prompt here. You just need to go to inventory. Let's take you select switch 1, switch 2 and switch 3, and just do the provision the devices. Well, this was done earlier, so you won't be getting this option here right now. So you don't, nothing has been configured, just do it, finish. So once you did this one, if you are getting some error message, definitely you are not going, you will once you provision it, okay, after first you have to assign into the site, then you have to provision the device. If you're getting an error on the top of the, you'll get like a red arrow marking on the top of the device. Deploy, submit. So if you're doing some kind of provisioning, if you want to get the result of provisioning, you just need to go to inventory, go to provision here, and you will see that whether they are successful or not. See, right now it was done 3 minutes back, it was done 4 5 years. Okay, let me check it out. What was the result? Now everything has been done perfectly, 3 minutes. Now let's go to another. Now let us go back to the fabric sites. Now let's go back to the Warsan site. Okay, now let us first configure switch 1. So first we have to enable, you can enable in any fashion, but better to enable the control plan first. We're going to be sticking with LIPS and BGP. This is a new one. It's okay, we can utilize it, but I'm not pretty sure about that. Now let us enable the BGP. We make sure that you untick mark that do not import external routes, because we have to import external route from the domain. Okay, now what was the BGP number? This is the BGP number that we need to configure here. 655. So I'm just copy pasting, so I will not make any mistake here. Okay. Okay, I will just show you one more thing. Okay, then we need to configure edge node. Okay, enable, and similarly we're going to deploy it here. A transit zone, we're going to do it later on. Currently I will just remove the transit zone. I'm going to add again the transit zone. Okay, now this is the what. Okay, this set switch 2, we're going to make it as a border node. Again we're going to have a layer 3. Let me put the number. Okay, then we need to make it control node and we need to make it border node. Okay, but switch 1 we made a mistake here. I think so we just need to discard it here. So we need to follow our template. We need to go to Warsan. We need to do template switch 1. We just need to make a control plan ready. In switch 1 we don't have anything connecting to switch 1, so why shall we enable the edge node? So it is much better to have two control nodes rather than single control nodes. Okay, edge node we don't need it here. Okay, anyway let us check it out. Okay, everything has been done. Okay, and then edge node we don't require it. In the switch 2 we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna have it. Okay, currently we're not gonna configure the transit zone. We're gonna configure transit zone later in the video. And do not import external route. Add. Okay, now we're gonna have this one control route. We're gonna have edge route because it's gonna be edge, but better to start from control plan rather than start from this one. I have seen sometimes the problem comes. So here we're gonna start the edge node. This will be edge only. So switch 3 will not have anything, it will be edge only. So then we're gonna deploy the configuration and we're gonna do this one and next. Okay, it's gonna take some time to deploy the configuration. Now see, everything has been done. You're having IP route, everything has been configured here. So what exactly the configuration that it's gonna put it right now? I'm gonna have a little bit on the configuration. Show you won't be having a section called router libs, because router libs is utilized as a carrier, like it's like a switching node. Seems like you're doing a label switching on the MPLS side, so it can carry your, sorry, no traps. Okay, so section router libs. Okay, so nothing has been there. So sometimes we are sending a traps. Okay, so once you have enabled, so it will be configured because I've already connected to this one. So switch 3, let us see what is here. So section router libs. So we don't have any libs and BGP at all in this one. So we don't have anything. And similar, like dot one, we don't have anything. So what exactly we're going to do it? We're going to just deploy the configuration, and similarly we're going to have it for others also. So we're going to deploy the configuration, and I think so that for last it's generating still. It's taking time to generate. Let's give them a few seconds. Yeah, it's generated. See, similarly it's putting the configuration, and then just get the deploy configuration. So it's going to deploy the configuration on your edge nodes. Oh, sorry, not on your edge nodes, like on the switches, like a 9300, 9400, 9500, 9200. So it's like that. So you can view from the task menu, or it will give you a pop-up message here that this task has been successfully executed. Just wait for some time if you are getting the pop-up message or no. In the meantime, I'll show you something about the time. Show router lists. See, the router list has been deployed right now. So what exactly we are trying to do it? 10.1.1 and 10.1.2 are the basically the both are the 10.1.1. One thing you need to be very careful about that, you need to have loopback 0 working for configuring any SD access. If you don't have loopback 0, it will not work. I do have loopback 0. I will just show you here. 10.1.1.1. So each and every your system need, your switches need to have a loopback. Without loopback, it's not gonna work. You will get an error message specifying that please create a loopback. So now I think so thing has been done. Now we're gonna create the virtual network. There's two ways to create virtual network. One, you can create directly from here, or otherwise you can create provision. You can go to virtual networks. You can create the virtual network from here. Virtual networks are basically VRFs or VNICs, VNI, whatever you like to study it. We are going to create a VNI virtual network, VRFs. So first VRF, we're going to have a corporate. Corporate. Okay, okay. So we're going to have corporate as a VRF. Now he's saying that whether which site you want to define it. Okay, we don't want to define to any site right now. Okay, then, okay, up next, we're not associating with any site right now. So if you're going to go back here, show IPVRF, you're going to have only management. We'll not have any other thing. Now we're just saying save the intent. We are not deploying anywhere. So after saving the intent also, it shows also it's got I don't have anything in it. Okay, so let's go to the other one. Now we need to go to virtual network. We need to create one more virtual network. These two virtual network are by default. Okay, create a virtual network. Let's do it. Now let's put a guest network. Guest network for our site. Okay, finish. Next. Next, you can create multiple network together, but I like to create one by one at a time. Give more flexibility. Okay, finish. That's done. I'll be just pausing the video for a second until this get pushed up. Things has been pushed up. Now I'm gonna save the save intent. Finish. It's saving the intent. Now after that we have a virtual network. We have already created the virtual network. Now they are saying, do you want to create Anycast gateway? Well, here we don't want to create the Anycast gateway right now. We are going to go to the fabric. Okay, let's go to the fabric. Uh, here authentication, the one which you have selected, none. We can change the authentication from here. Now L3 network, we need to add virtual networks. Add, no, sorry, not here. Sorry. We need to exit it. Okay, we need to associate features already created. Add existing network. We need to add this network. Infra is required in case if you're having a wireless infrastructure working with you, so it's better to add it initially. So you have three networks working together, virtual interface. Now after pushing this, you'll get a new things. You'll it will create a VRF on the switches. Okay, so you don't have to be very much careful about that. Show IP VRF. So still VRF is not being created. Just see. Now first I'm going to save the intent, submit. Now the VRF should be created. Successfully done. Okay, let us see with the VRF are there. Oh, sorry, it's not gonna create right now. Yeah, we need to add Anycast gateway. Let's see. Yes, not creating right now. So we have to add Anycast gateway. So after that, we need to add Anycast gateway. Anycast gateway means that it's a basically subnet. You are going to create it on the top of the VRFs. So we're going to have this one and this one. We are not looking the info right now. Okay. So let us have a, we don't have the pools right now. So first of all, we have to create the pools. For creating the pools, okay, yeah, exit it. You need to go back here. You need to first define the global pool. Okay, here you're going to define the DHCP server and the global pool. Okay, these are the already defined DHCP server by me, 10, 20, 1, 2, 4. This for the for the corporate and this for the guest. So let me put the pool as a global pool. That's a very interesting here. You have to put a global pool. I'm going to put a global underscore pool. Okay, generic. Our network will be 10.50.0.0 slash 24. We're gonna add two networks slash 16. Right, so we're gonna have a big network. You don't have to specify anything here. Let it be here, global pool. Now we need to add another pool because I have a 10.1.4, 1.5, 1.6. For this one, we are going to have a transit pool. You can utilize from the same pool also, but in my case, I'm using from transit pool. I'm just showing you can have multiple pool also. Transit underscore pool. So we're gonna have 10.1.0.0. We're gonna have slash 16 as a network. So we're just matching the first two oct. Sorry, 16, the first two oct, and we don't have to do anything else. Transit pool, finish, done. Now this pool has been assigned to global. Now we need to go back to, okay, it's saying this inheriting this configuration. That's okay. Now we need to go to data as a fab. Let's start from Varsan. Varsan the fabric side. We're gonna reserve the pool for Varsan. Varsan corporate. I'm just gonna copy it. We're gonna have this pool. We're gonna have slash 24. Okay, we're gonna have 10.50.1.0 slash 24. These are the pool IP address that will be assigned to the client PC, which are going to communicate. Here you're gonna assign the IP gateway IP address, which is .1. Okay, if you have another IP address, which can assign this one. I don't have DNS server, so I don't have to define the DNS server. You can have define the same DNS server the similar way I have defined DSCP IP addresses. Let's start the game now. Reserving. So we are reserving the infrastructure. Let's reserve another pool. Now this pool we're gonna reserve for guest underscore pool, guest corporate Varsan guest. We're gonna put Varsan guest. Okay, now we're gonna put a generic IP address. We're gonna have slash 50, and then we're gonna have slash 24. Now we have slash 24 IP address. We're gonna have 10.50.2.0s. Okay, and 10.50.2.1, and then we're gonna assign the DSCP addresses. This is for guest. Okay, so we're gonna have the different address, not two second one. So we reserved it. But this network should be reachable once you have a spine. Otherwise, it has to be reachable by VRF. It's not by the global table. It has to reach via VRF. Just be mind. Just keep in mind this address of your DHCP server should be reachable by VRF, not by a global table. The global table is controlled by LISP protocol. Okay, so we're gonna have two corporate networks done. Now let's go back to our provisioning. Now let's go to provisioning of fabric. Now we have a Varsan. Now we're going to configure Varsan as a fabric provisioning. Now we are going to go L3 virtual network we have already created. We are going to create L3 IP security gateway IP. Let's do it. We're gonna have this one. We're gonna have this one guest and corporate. Okay. Then let us assign the IP. We're gonna configure one by one at a time. We're gonna have 10.50.1. Okay. It will give an error until unless you give the name to this one. Let us put corp. I don't want to give it 1011. We're gonna give it a name, and we don't have to specify any security SGT tagging right now because we didn't configure the ISE for SGT tagging still. In ISE, if you want to do SGT tagging, just bear in mind you need to do a lot of things. Okay, let me show you this. You need to go depression deployment. Okay. Okay, it's gonna take some time, I believe so. It's really working too hard. You can have authentication. I'm going to show you all this stuff in the later videos. Let me, I think it's going to take time. So you don't have to specify city tagging. We are not going to do any kind of this one. Okay, it's going to be data traffic. It's not going to be voice traffic. Okay, we are not going to access any TCP/MS. So nothing that. Now we need to do the same thing for guest. We're gonna do the guest. We're gonna make it GUST guest VLAN. Make it 1012. Okay, I'm gonna give the second name. Okay, now done. Let us see if it's no, still it's not done. Now next. Okay, now next. Okay, we have configured 1011, 1012. Next. If you might be having a different security team, they might be configuring ISE for you. We don't know about that. Okay, let's start. Now we have going to deploy this configuration. And once we're going to deploy it, we're going to be start getting the VRF configured Nova switches. It will show you what exactly they are going to configure. I will let you know what exactly they're going to configure. Still is taking time. I don't know why on that it's taking too much time. It's basically a labs environment, so it's running out from resources. So, though it could be the reason. So it does take time. Now let us wait. It is almost done right now. I was just waiting for it. Okay, it's almost done. It's generating the configuration. So once it generates the configuration, we can, so it will let you know what they're going to deploy. This is saying that it's going to create the VRF. It's going to create the two VRF corporate bus, and it's going to put import and export community, which you don't have to configure anything like that, especially if you've been to MPLS infrastructure. It's called route distinguisher, route import and route. You don't have to configure route distinguisher. See, you have a different route distinguisher. You don't have to configure anything. It's gonna do by itself. See, the RDs are different. RDs are different here. See, so it's a route distinguisher. You don't have to configure anything. See how flexible and how nice Cisco Catalyst Center is. So it's like you're saving a lot of time on configuration or making the configuration ready by yourself. So here, what exactly you're doing? You're minimizing the mistake that you're deploying by Cisco SDA. Still is taking time. I don't know why. What's wrong with the ISE? Anyway, we'll check it ISE later on. Now we have already configured. Let us go back here. Probably the time. Show IPVRF. Now see, you have a corporate VLAN has been assigned to it. So you didn't configure anything. You just click and it starts working fine. You can do this all with DevOps also if you're having Cisco SDA SDK. So sorry, not DNSDK, not SDA, sorry. So now we are going to, everything has been provisioned. Okay, now the site should be working fine. Now see, it's showing it's compliant. Similarly, we're going to do it like that with data. Let's do with the data also. First thing we need to, data is a very classic site. So what exactly we're going to do, we're going to start from the control plan. We're going to utilize the same LISP and BGP. You can choose any of them. Anyway, you don't have to configure it. Okay, see, he's saying that first you have to add this one, enable. Now you need to put the number from here. BGP number that we have assigned to this one is 65512. Now we're gonna add this number here. Now let us we are not gonna touch the transit right now. We're gonna do the transit later on. Now we need to add this one. Now everything should be working fine. So it's this switch will act like a border gateway, control plan, and edge node. Everything will be there in the same switch. It's like putting a sandwich together. So let's start the game. Now we are doing it everything one by one. So we are processing telemetry data, generating CLI, processing model object, generating device. Okay, if you have any comment, please let me know in the comment box with of the video. Just see everything has been done. We don't have to do anything. Interestingly, it's too easy. It just matter how you're going to configure. If you know basically about the BGP and other stuff, it's going to help you a lot. So if you don't know also, it's gonna okay. Now I'm going to associate the same virtual network which we have created earlier. I'm gonna associate three of them. It's better to associate infrastructure today or tomorrow. Depends totally on you. Well, I'm gonna make some video on wireless also if I do have time on how to control. One operation is pending. What operation is pending? No compliance variation found for the device in the no compliance. What is this? Pending operation view manage. This some pending operations is here for this one. Let us see what's the issue. Still, it's taking time. Let me put it like that. Probably it's gonna come back. Okay, here complete refresh. Okay, it's doing a refreshment. Let's try again. Recheck. No, still is showing it. But where? What is the issue right now? Success, success. Now it's working here. See, everything is working fine. Now it's okay. Now after the recheck, everything became success. Probably something was going around. It was giving, might be the last configuration was keep on pushing, and we just started up. Okay, no device found deployment. For deployment, you still save intent. So we don't have device for deployment. Discard it. Let us do one more time. Okay, see. Yeah, I found it. So let us do one thing. We need to go to Fabric. Yes, still the I think so it was getting deployed. Let us go back data. Let me check it out. The one thing here. Yes, this is already been deployed. Okay, finished. Let us start the configuration one more time. Add virtual network, corporate, guest, and infra. It's just intent, sorry. It is just an intent, so we don't have to be worried about that. It's not gonna be deploying to device, sorry. It's just an intent. I was mistaken. Now we just need to submit it. Yes, everything has been successful. So now let us add virtual network, Anycast gateway network. Layer 2 networks are basically like a VLAN. If you want to just create a VLAN and we don't need to give an IP address to it, you can just create a VLAN and let the device, like you're making a single broadcast domain without any gateway. We have did this especially in Cisco ACIs also, we did it that. Okay, let's go and configure this one. We're gonna configure corporate. We're gonna have the same SSID. In some company you might have a universal SSIDs, but in different companies you might be having non-universal IP. Again, we didn't specify the IP pool, so we need to go and specify the IP pool for this one also. Now let us go network setting, exit. Now go to IP pool. Now in the data we didn't specify any IP pool. Yeah, in the data we didn't specify, so it will be DIERA data underscore corporate. Okay, finish. Or you can put corp. Okay, we're gonna have the same IP range here defined global. We're gonna have /24 IP. You can have anything. I recommend to have 10.50.11.0, and we're gonna have 10.50.11.1. We're gonna have DSCP server as 1 and reserved. And similarly, we're gonna go for the guest network also. Data guest, GUSD guest. Okay, we're gonna have /24. The first thing we're gonna select it. Okay, /24. We're gonna have select 24 10.50.12.0. I've memorized it. Okay, 10.50.112.1. This will be the gateway, and our DSCP server will be this one. Finished, reserved. So we have already reserved the two subnet. Now we can directly assign. We need to go back to provision, fabric side. Now we need to select the fabric. We need to do it. This all changes. Now let us go to Anycast gateway. Create Anycast gateway. Let's do it. You can put it. Do not show me again. It's okay. Anyway, say Now we're going to select data corporate. We need to see its data. We need to provide the VLAN name. Let us put corporate only. Corp, okay. And it should be again VLAN 1011. You can have any ID. And similarly, we're going to have guest. This will be GUST guest and VLAN ID 1022. We're not going to put any kind of security gateway. We are going to put it this one. Let us assign them, both of them, to the fabric. So it's saying that selected fabric, it will be assigned to fabric. If you're having a zone, you can assign to zone. Zone in means that you have first floor, second floor. If you want to have in multiple zone inside a fabric, you can specify to those zone also. Next, deploy, finish. Now it should deploy to the devices. Now let us go back to, before we deploy it here, we need to go back to switch, show running section, router, so running section, router, LISP. So we do have the LISP router working here. Okay, but you shouldn't be having show IP VRF. We shouldn't be having the VRF. VRF are not there. Okay, only the LISP is working. Okay, now let's go back here. Now we're gonna deploy Anycast. Okay, finish. Now things has been deployed properly. Now we just need to go to layer 3 configuration. Let's see. And now if it's success, let us see if we get show IP VRF. We are getting VRF, so things have been deployed perfectly. Now just to test it, what exactly we can do it, we can have some interface connected. Still it's not showing it up. Wait a minute, let me check the, I will just hold on and I'll just check it out, that one. I have configured, I have just enabled the PCs. Okay, they are communicating right now. It's having an issue with the, so let us assign an IP address to them, because right now DSCP is not working. Just for testing we can assign an IP address to it. Okay, sudo, let me put IPA. I don't have an IP address. Okay, sudo IP address add 10.50.1.11/24 dev ethernet 0 IPA. You should have assigned the IP address ping 10.50.1.11 ping it. Let's see if we can ping the gateway. We cannot ping the gateway right now. Yeah, that's okay. Let's here also similarly Cisco IP. We don't have an IP address because we didn't assign the port only. Sudo IP ADR address 10.50.1.12. We're gonna be having the same VLAN. Okay, so it's 12 dev eth0 IPA ping 10.50.1.12. I'm just pinging itself. I cannot ping the gateway too. It's not gonna ping the gateway. Now for gateway pinging, we need to go back to our fabric sites. We're gonna do this test only in the Warsan. In the VARS, because we didn't configure the transit, so we cannot call transit traffic. Only in Warsan area we can do it. So we need to go to port assignment. Here, okay, the problem here, we're gonna assign this port number 6 and port number 6 here. Switch 1, switch 2 and switch 3. Switch 2 and switch 3. Port number 6 that we have to assign. Yes. Just click it. We need to put as user defined port access points for only access point. We need to select the corporate guest. We need to do not have to do anything. We just need to do put PS1. There's a description that is going to be imposed on the port. Let us see the port number on switch 2. Switch 2 show run interface GIG 1/0/6. Nothing is configured except the IP device tracking. That is by default. Once you enable it, it will try to see if some devices are moving. So let's configure. Okay, now we're gonna configure in switch 3 also. Switch 3 also port number 6. We're gonna do it user define. See, we are not getting switch 1 because switch 1 we never specify that we're gonna connect anything to this one. So if you're going to do something, if you want to define tomorrow, make it as edge also. So you're not getting switch 1 at all. Switch 1, switch 2 and switch 3. Okay, now you're gonna put the deploy configuration. It will show you what exactly it's going to deploy in a few minutes second. It's gonna take a couple of minutes, some time probably at that, especially, and it's gonna assign all those port. Yeah, just a minute. It's almost done. It's almost done. It's almost done. See, no macro, no macro, no macro. I don't know what exactly they have mentioned. Okay, trigger wireless event. So it's just keep on sending the command by itself. No macro access disabled, so it's saying that I'm going to configure 1001 here, 1001 here, and similar it's going to see 101 here, ppd fast, ppd guard, everything has been done. So you don't have to remember the command lines also nowadays, but it's better to know that the command line, you know exactly what the Cisco SD-Access network is doing. So the command lines has been configured. Now let us go back to our domain. In this one we have a PC1 and PC2. Now let us see, can we ping it? Let's see it here. Show IP interface brief. We should be, it should be in this switch 3 and 2. We should be having a loopback, okay? Because we don't have anything, so it's created loopback. In switch 3, show IP interface brief, exclude unassigned. So here we're gonna have VLAN. Similarly, we're gonna have in switch 2 also. Now it should be pinging. It's pinging, see, it's pinging. It does take time. So it should ping the other guy also. The 12, see, it's pinging the 12 also. IPA, his address is that one. So everything is pinging to each other now. If I'm going to ping from the switch 2 also, see it's pinging. And it's going to ping 12, 11 also. So everything is pinging. So it's just a deployment time and some time of ARP. Okay, so everything is pinging in the fabric one. So this guy is pinging able to him and he can ping it to this guy. So he can ping to gateway. We are having Anycast gateway. So each and every switch is acting as a gateway. So it's like an Anycast gateway. So you don't have to go to any gateway, and all the things that is the traffic that is routing between them is basically layer 3 about the layer 3 network, similar like how you're doing in ACI. OSPF is underlay, and on top of that is, and it's using the BGP also for sending the packet, but it's mostly here in this scenario they're going to use a LISP. So this only. Let's start the game. Now we have already did it. Okay, I want to first delete something from here. Provisioning, we're gonna have a fabric. Now we need to do a transit. We are having a transit. We're going to delete that transit. We're going to create a new transit for us. We're going to manage all of them. If you have some fabric or something, you can just do it, delete. Okay, we can delete the transit. Delete the transit. Apply. It's the IP transit, so probably it's not going to have anything in it. And the IP transit that we're going to talk about, this one is basically this transit network. This transit network is going to transit the traffic from fabric data to fabric version. So we're going to configure that. Just imagine. Okay, save intent, finish, delete. It's just deleting it. It just deletes the fabric. So what exactly we are trying to do it here in Catalyst Center? If I'm going to show you something, I'm going to go to inventory. We have this one, RTR router. This is basically our fusion router, RTR router. It will act like a fusion for providing internet access. At the same time, it will be RTR also, like a transit router. So in case if I'm going to make a fusion router, I need to just go and create a template in by using any change of velocity if I want to, and I need to add the commands here. So here what exactly I'm having a flexibility. I don't have to command, but it's much better if you can do via command line, and that is much better. But let us do provision of fabric side. We need to go fabric side, we need to go to transit, we need to create a new transit. Create a transit, let's do it. Okay, we need to make it IP based transit, IP based transit. So we are making IP based transit. You can have multiple sites connected to this. Okay, so it will be IP based. What are the BGP number that you want to have a transit? So our BGP number is this one that the transit router is having. So we're gonna have this one. We're going to copy paste the same thing so we don't make any mistake, and it's gonna make it next. And it's not going to deploy any configuration the transit router, but it's like a IP base. So you'll see it will show nothing has to be deployed. It's basically IP base. You just keep a message there. Now this is the first thing that you have to do before assigning. See, you no device need to be save intent. Now before we go ahead with the transit, we need to create a couple of subnets. Let us go to network hierarchy. Let us go to global. Sorry, network setting, global, and IP pool. We have already created IP pool called transit network that we're going to utilize, especially in this area. We're going to have, because we have assigned this device provision inventory into version only. See, we have assigned it to version. So you can assign to any of the side, no worries. So we need to go to design, network setting again. We need to go to IP pool. Now we have to create two pools here. For one pool will be utilized by switch 1, another pool will be utilized for switch 2. Let's create the two pools. Add reserve pool. We're gonna have transit underscore pool underscore switch 1. I'm just giving switch 1. Okay, finish. We're gonna have 16, this one IP address for transit 10.10. We're gonna use slash 24. It's gonna do subnetting by itself. Okay, it's gonna divide /30/30 IP address. So we're gonna do it 10 dot, let us see, 10.1.4.0. Okay, we don't have to specify gateway here because let the guide to select the gateway by himself. So we're gonna have assign another version transit underscore pool underscore switch 2. So this for transit for switch 2. We're gonna select the one as a VLAN, and we're gonna have /24. We're gonna have 10.50 dot, sorry, 10.1.5.0 and reserve it. Finish. So what exactly I meant to, I'm gonna say you here. If you're gonna have RTR router, let us see. Show IP interface brief, exclude unassign. These are exactly, we are going to have, these are 501, 502, 601, 602 VLANs. So this port will be sub interface. So in sub interface, /30 IP will come differently. I will just show you that. Okay. Now we need to go to fabric policy, fabric provision, sorry, fabric sites. Now let me create a now let us go to version first, then we'll go to data. Okay, this is exactly what RTR is showing. It's saying that you can access internet via this router. Now first we have to configure the BGP. We need to configure BGP. It's basically what we are going to add transit site. Now in the transit site, we are going to add transit pool. The first pool we're going to add is 10.4.1. Okay, on this side, that first switch 1, and we need to assign this external interface. External interface as per the diagram is 105. So we're going to have 105, and you can put that any description, uplink or something like that, uplink to RTR. Finish. That will be published. Now we need to specify how many subnet. If you have multiple VRF, you need to specify. You need to specify the RVRF. We are just going to follow the same VLAN IDs that we have already specified. We can specify until here. It's going to be done by, we can specify subnet mask here manually. It will be done by the system itself. I'll show you that. Now we did it. Now we're going to let us do this also. Let us do one by one. Okay, say that's okay. So it give you more chance to understand. Now we just did one, deploy, next. You can do together also, but you can do separate by one by one. It's totally depend. So give us some time, it's generating the configuration file, so we can look on the configuration. See, it's generating. So it's created 501 VLAN, no shutdown. 502 VLAN, okay, no shutdown. Okay, it's allowing all the VLAN. Okay, here the first IP is give type 5. Okay, 4 dot, the first IP 501 is 1 and the other one is 5. So similarly in our area, the first IP will be 2 and the next IP will be 6. This is /30 network. So if you're gonna see /30 network, it's done by itself. So you don't have to do that also, the subnetting. In the switch 2 also it's gonna put some configurations like some kind of filtration. See, IP prefix list permit 10.1. That's okay. So it's denying anything coming from the site as a 10.44 dot. Okay, if something is getting published, deploy, modify now. So it's like a avoiding the loop. Okay, now it should be successful. Now let's go back to here. Switch 1, show running section, router, BGP. Let us see what is here. Now see, it's saying it have configured all this by itself. Summary write 1051.0 summary only. If you're having anything, it's going to send summary only. We didn't configure anything. Redistribute libs is done by the libs. Protocol is redistributing the, it's done everything by itself. Now here, what exactly we are mentioning? 2.1 update sources VLAN 1 activate wait 655. So update source is 501. Update source. Okay, wait, it specify the wait by itself. We don't have to configure the wait. See, everything has been done by itself. Now in the RTR router, show BGP VRF. Here, let us see, show IP. Let us show IP VRF. Show BGP VRF. We're gonna have customer, copy and paste, and all summary. BGP is not active. Okay, why? Show IP BGP summary. BGP is not active. Show running section, router, BGP. See, we didn't have the, we didn't configure the BGP. So exactly what exactly we need to configure the BGP. That's why showing. I have the configuration for the BGP configuration here. Let's do the configuration. Router BGP address family. So first thing we have to do it here. Let us start configuring the BGP. We'll just start configuring BGP one by one. So here we're gonna activate this only. 10.neighbor. The first is 441. Neighbor paste it here. So neighbor will become active. Then you have 55. Then we have customer guest only. So you're having two VRFs only right now. Show. So now see the neighbor code up. Okay, now similarly if you're gonna see show IP, show BGP, sorry, it should show the network. See, it's coming, the networks 1050 is coming to the to here. If you're gonna see show IP route VRF corporate hyphen cust 1001, so you're gonna see the BGP route is coming here. You'll be seeing the BGP should be there. It should be coming there. 10.50, yeah, it's coming via S. It's coming, should be coming. 1050 141 via. Show running include by static. I think so. I have configured some static route here. Probably yes. There is a static route here. That route I have to. This one I have to remove it. Copy. Paste it here. Okay. So we don't have to have this static route. Show IP route VRF customer. Now you should be seeing the BGP route. That's why static route was there. So that was causing an issue in this one. Now you have a BGP route with default matrix distance of 0, 20. The static route have a distance of 1. That's why it was publishing. It was not allowing the BGP route to populate in it. So that's okay. So we did this one. Now we our BGP relations up. Show IP VRF. Let's see for other side also. Show IP route VRF. Let's see customer. Copy and paste it here. Okay. So we have the BGP route there also. So in both the scenario, BGP route is same and BGP is working fine. The routes are publishing. Now one thing we're gonna do it here. We need to, I think so we didn't put one configuration command here. We need to put default information originate, because we need to send the information. So anything that is being, if you not know anything, just send it to me. It is totally depend on your scenario. In my scenario, it's gonna be like that only. Default information originate. Let me add this one again. Default information originate. So it's gonna send a default information to this specific route, which I didn't add it earlier. I just need to add one more route. Okay, so default. So if you're gonna see here, show IP BGP, show IP VRF, show IP VRF. Okay, show BGP VRF corporate uh, all. So you should be receiving a default route also. It does take some time to come up. Okay, show summary. So it will show you the same thing. Let's see if we receive the route corporate. Here you're receiving the route from here, having a 65535 65535. See, it's showing, and the weight is like a 65535. See, you have the 65535 65561. So it's giving him another thing to it. Okay, so that's okay. 65561, and this another thing is added by itself. Okay, so now we do have the default route coming from the this one. Okay, and these are all the route that has been coming from local routes. Now show, if you're gonna see, uh show IP route VRF. We're having this route here, and similarly you're gonna have this route in guest also. Let us put in the guest. If the guest route is coming, so it means this coming. See, BGP route is coming and populating. So on one side we have already configured switch 1. Now let us configure switch 2. So we need to go back to switch 2. We need to configure the BGP. We need to add the transit route. We need to select the transit route like a switch 2. Here also things, let's see how the things will run out. Okay, I forgot to add external interface. External interface will be 1/5. Yeah, 1/5. Okay, then we have to enable it. Then here we need to check something before we do it. Show IP interface brief. So these are the second, not this one, sorry. Show IP interface brief. So this is the one, 601 and 602. Let's see if we are gonna get the same thing, because sometimes it may give you the next, sometimes it doesn't give you. 1011, sorry, 601. It should be 601 and it should be 602. So you don't have to do anything after that. And other thing, I don't want to populate to, so everything is okay. My transit has been done. Now I'm gonna deploy the configuration, and everything should be okay now. So here similarly you're gonna make a fusion router, because it's acting like a fusion, like a IP-based transit router. It's a combined, I combined them together. Otherwise you have to write a script, and especially in some scenario, and especially I have seen that in the virtualized environment it never works. That's why I'm using this one. It will, you cannot push the script, it doesn't recognize somehow. So your VLAN is 601, name is 601, 602, and the first IP is 1 and the second IP is 5. So here it's given very nicely the 5 IP address, so I have to make some changes here in the infrastructure. So 5 will be 6, 4, 5, 6, similar like the other one. So everything is okay. Let me deploy it. Now in this scenario I'm gonna see it what exactly has been configured on my side. So I need to make it 6 config t interface. Here we're gonna make it like that, copy, and we're gonna do it like that again here. Okay, so no IP address, 10.1.5.6 255.255.255.252. no shutdown. Okay, now here what exactly we're gonna make it? We're gonna make it again the similar like one. The script I have to change it. It was 5. It should be 5, 5 and 5. 10, 5, 5 and 5. Okay, so we're gonna activate the next route. So can we ping it? Ping VRF uh, corporate underscore cust 1001 10.1.5.6 show IP VRF. So probably I'm missing the name. CUST corporate cust 101. Yeah, it's almost same. Okay, here's a missing corporate. So it's going to take some time. Let's give him some time. I have seen that. Let's see. Show IP interface brief, exclude unassign. Yeah, it's there. It's almost working. Should be working. Probably 5.2 is working. Yes. Okay. Yeah. It was basically the issue with this one. I made a mistake. It should be guest. GUST guest. GUST guest. Okay. Should be working. Show IPVRF. Guest 101. Yeah, that's okay. 4 1 1 shouldn't be working because still 1 is not assigned. Let us assign there. By the time it should be working. Let's go and give some time to it. Okay, now we have assigned this one. We've already assigned it, I believe so. Yes, we have did it. So now let us see. Now let us go to switch to show IP interface brief. So we have for 1 and 5 and 5 5 and 1.5. Okay, and this one, let us see this one what exactly is being configured. 5.5. Yeah, it's working fine. Now 5.6 should be working fine too. See, everything start working fine by itself. Just give them some time. It's a virtualized lab now, so it's okay. So we should be having it. Okay, now let's configure the BGP configuration. We need to go and configure the BGP. Let us log into BGP, copy and paste it here. Then we're gonna have address family IPv4. Then we're gonna push it this one. Then we're gonna start from this one, neighbor, activate and default route information originate. Paste it here. The similarly we're gonna do it this one, address family, paste it here, and here we're gonna have the same AS number. We're not changing the AS number. In the Odaiba we're gonna change the AS. Sorry, in Data we're gonna change the AS number. Okay. Now let us see show BGP VRF corporate, copy, paste it here. Okay, as all summary. So you should be seeing a two relationship right now. See, you're seeing you're getting a 3 3 prefix from each relationship. Okay, so let us see if we should be having some routes there coming from two different sites. Yeah, we are seeing the routes coming from C250. One is coming from one, another is as a standby. So totally depend on which side is going to take the route. So we are receiving the same route from both the side. Okay, and based on default matrix, it's trying to we are not playing with any with local preference or something, so it's by doing by itself. I didn't configure any local preference or something like a AS path or something like that, so just be in the mind. So if you're gonna see it here, we're gonna be seeing it on the switch 2, sorry, show route via show IP route VRF corporate. See, you're receiving a BGP route. Okay, see, everything is working fine. So you're getting a default route from there. You should be getting this right now. Okay, now let us do one more thing. Now we have did it. Now let us do for the other side also. Let me see it. Okay, now let's go back to this one. Now we need to go to another fabric site. We need to go and do the Hudaiba one, Dera one, sorry. Dera. Okay. Now let us go and configure. We have already configured L3, everything is here. Yeah. Anikia's gateway is already been configured. Now its only thing that is remaining is fabric site. We need to go back to Dera. We need to go back to fabric infrastructure. We need to allow it. We need to configure BGP. We need to put IP transit tunnel. We need to select the pool. Okay, we didn't have the pool for Hudaiba. Now we need to create the pool for Hudaiba. Yeah, Hudaiba, we didn't create the pool. Let us create the pool for Hudaiba. Device, network settings, exit. Then sorry, data. Sorry, I'm just keep on saying Hudaiba. Okay, data, IP pool. Now the pool should be show IP interface brief. I missed this one. Okay, so it should be here. Show IP interface brief. The pool should be 6. Okay, 6 I didn't configure only. So let me configure for 6 one. Let me network settings 6 IP pool and address transit 6. Okay, prefab. Okay, IP transit underscore pool underscore switch 4. This is for switch 4. So we're gonna select the same network transit network and we're gonna have /24. Much better to give it 10.1.6.0. We're gonna select 6, so we don't have to specify the name. Okay, now we need to go back here to provision fabric side. Okay, now once you're gonna configure fabric side, we need to go to data. Okay, let it wait for some time. It's already there. Now configure it. Now transit. Now let me see the it's almost 5. Same 1 slash. This is a okay, already pool is there. Now add external interface. Now we know we need to add 1.5. Okay, now we need to add this one. Let us do one thing. It's 701 702. It's 701 and 702. We don't have to specify, as you're aware. That will be done by itself. Everything is done. Add, and let's see, deploy. What exactly is going to make it? Next. So let us see. 701 701 702 702. Everything has been done. Now it has assigned the IP address same like the previous one. Everything has been done in both because it doesn't have, it's only one switch. Okay, if we're going to deploy it, modify, deploy. So it's going to deploy it. Okay, in the meantime, let us configure our RTR router. RTR router, we are just gonna have this few configuration. Config D. We're gonna have router BGP paste neighbor change. Okay, corporate address, paste it here because we are going to use address family IPv4. So here we are just changing the network because it's changing the gate. Okay, now again we're gonna do the same thing, paste it here. If you're gonna do in the greenfield network or whatever's the network, you need to be very careful about that one, gray network especially. Okay, so show BGP VRF corporate cust 101 all summary. So you should be having another. What happened? Let me copy, that's much better. Copy, paste all summary. So it's seeing another active is here, still it's not been made. Let's see why it's not being made. It's okay. Ping VRF. Customer is here. Cust is here. 10.1.6.1 is there. Still not working. Let's see why it's not working. Let's see. Show IP interface brief. Okay, still 2 is there. Let me see. 2 is configured. Yes, 2 is working. Yes. So in the switch 4, let's see. Show IP interface brief. Okay. Show. Yes, so the one. Let me do one more thing here. Show run interface GIG 1 slash 3 0 slash 3.701 encapsulation. Yeah, everything has been done. 2 is there. Well, let us see if we. Yes, pinging right now. So it's taking some time. Let me see if we can get the. It should be working now. Idle. Let us give some time to it. Let me do one thing. Logging console. So it will log anything which has been there active. Okay. XML configuration logging filter. Okay, just a minute. Show run. Okay, 161.52.51. So let us see the configuration that has been deployed here. Show run section router BGP. Definitely design 6552, which is our NAN. Okay, so yes, 10.6561 6561 is our I 6561. Yes, it's done. Okay, let me check it out. Okay, 6561 active. Wait, okay, 6561. It should work it here. Just a minute. 61 6266 107 source VLAN 1 ping VRF GUSD guest 10.1.6.6 is working. Show interface trunk. Yeah, it's here. Show IP interface brief. Yes. Okay. Ping 10.1.6.5 should be working. 6. Okay. 6.1 corporate is working. Corporate is working. Show CDP neighbor. Switch to RTR is GIG0. Okay, that's a mistake. I'll just rectify. I'll just change it. Okay, it's connecting to 00. That's a mistake here. Show CDP neighbor GIG 1/0/5 detail 1/0/5. Switch 4 is connecting via 5. Show run interface GIG. Let me check the wiring and I will just get back to you in a second. I'll just pause the video. Now see the relationship of it was basically physical internet interface connectivity having an issue. So this I rectify the physical connectivity, everything start working fine. It was connected to wrong interface, so everything is okay now. Now if you're gonna see this one, you're getting 3 configurations. Okay, and the same thing we're gonna see it for guest also. You're receiving 2 prefix GUSD guest. Okay, show IP route VRF corporate. First we need to see the corporate, as we are very concerned with corporate. Paste it here. You're having now What the hell has happened? Okay, if we have, okay, 10.0, 10.100.1, so we are receiving two routes, one for 50 and one for 11. Now let us do one thing. Now I will just do the reset for the PC1 and PC2 in case. Let's see if they get the DSCP. I will just pause for a second and I will do the reset. I have resetted the PC. Okay, let's see if we can get an IPA. We get an IP. See, we're getting an IP address directly from DSCP. Okay, similarly we're getting an IP address here directly from, should be directly from DSCP, because DSCP Cisco IPA. So we're getting an IP address from here also, DSCP. The this is signing an IP address, so let us see here. It's a Cisco router, show IP DSCP binding. So it should be having a bindings right now. See, it's giving IP address to everything. What exactly is there need to be there. So it's giving IP addresses right now. So the people are getting an IP address. Okay, probably I have been testing at that time, it got an IP address. So this is the one which is getting an IP address right now. If you want to reach it, 10.1.10.50.1.53. Let's see if it gets an IP. Okay, pinging, it should ping 1. And what was the IP address we got it here? 54. It should ping 54. So again 54. So we got an IP address. This means that communication is working. Let's see if we can ping 8.8.8.8. If NAT is working, it should work. NAT is working, so everything is working, so internet reachable. Now we need to go back to our diagram and we need to enable PC 106. 106. Okay, let us see. Now we need to go to here 106. So okay, 1/6. We need to configure this as a VLAN corporate. Okay, and let a PC should be PC3. PC3. So we're not going to put the guest right now. It's going to be similar like PC3. So we're not going to play with the guest. The guest is just an arbitrary. Okay, now we just need to deploy again. Never forget to deploy the configuration. Without deploying, nothing is going to work. You have to deploy the configuration every time. Without deploying, it's not going to work. So carefully, you have to deploy the configuration. It is, I think everything should be working fine. Now I'm going to close the video, and probably in the next session I may enable like a Cisco ISE. I don't think so Cisco ISE is working today. Let me, in the next video I'm gonna do ISE. It's gonna be part 2 of this video, but it's most probably our ISE and authentication. But in my lab I cannot show you about a lot about that. Okay, it just will be just how to configure the policy and how to put it. It won't be that much feasible because I don't have the resources, and the OS that I do have in my lab doesn't support 802.1x authentication on the guest side. So let us see the PC3. Now let us see the PC3. Now PC3 is crashing. Let us see IPA. Do we get an IP address? So PC3 should be in the 11. Let's see if we do have a pool for 11. Show running section DSCP dot 11. It should be there. Let's see, wait for some time. It should be working. IPA. Yeah, it's got an IP address. So let's see 10.50.1. It's a okay. PC3 should be this one. IPA. Yeah, it got an IP address 10.50.11.1. It's pinging the gateway. .1.1. It should be ping at the gateway. 1. What's the IP address? 54 and 53. 54 and 53. 54. It should take some time. It should ping. 52 is pinging. 54 is pinging. 53 should ping together. Now it's pinging. Finish. So it means that all the combinations working from A to Z, and it should ping the gateway. 8.8.8.8.8. See, everything is okay, working fine. Now your entire fabric is working fine, your RTR is working fine, your fusion is routing is working fine, It's like an entire network has been completely jotted down in a couple of an hour. It's an hour time. So how fast is SDA network? Cisco has built a fabulous system called Cisco Catalyst Center, which help you to deploy the configuration in a minute. If you're going to use ZTPA, I will try to get a lab where I can do a ZTPA, and I will show you guys how to do a zero touch provisioning. This iOS doesn't support those stuff. Well, let me check it out. Okay. If you're going to have ZTPA, like if you have some kind of device got wrong or like a configuration went off, how to do seeding and other stuff, I will try to make a lab on that. But lab will be very fabulous. The Cisco SD network is very fabulous network, so you're gonna have everything. Now let us see one more thing before we close the lab. Show IP route, lisp. Show IP route, lisp. See, you don't have the router okay, so you need to have show IP route VRF corporate. So you see, you're setting a route from BGP, you're getting route from lisp. See, these are lisp route that you're getting here. On the underlay you're not getting anything, but on this side you're getting a lisp route. So most probably, see, they are all /32 route. It means, see, /32 and correct and giving us a null, uh, which 251. Okay, so they're giving us /32 subnet, like a /32 is like a directly connected route. Basically we are having a /24, but it give a /30. So it's like a host routing, mostly doing host routing. That's why in order to save the like if save the save the device routing table, you need to do with fabric zoning and the stuff just to save the space. So right now everything is working, all your routings are there, your BGP table is there. Let us see what is there. So show BGP VRF corporate, because we're not gonna have we corporate all, corporate only. So it will show you the route. See, this is the route we are receiving via static routing. It's like a static, we didn't configure static routing. It's just all done by Cisco Catalyst Center. So SSS, it's not a static routing, it's like a suppressed, sorry, it's a suppressed routing. The static routing is suppressed because it's directly connected. So here is basically the one which we are receiving from the other side, 1050.11.11. So see, it's basically, I just make a mistake here. Okay, here you're having, these are all local route, that is basically null route, that is giving you null route. So anything, if you want to tap it out, you need to tap it out 0 directly, because you're having a anycast gateway. That's why they don't want to allow you to route it. After that it will route via LISP protocol. So it's basically lisp route. Okay, this is also lisp route. Okay, then you are receiving this route from BGP via BGP 1050, because we don't have a we didn't configure the SDA fabric. If we could configure SDA fabric, might be the things will be different. But anyway, this transit is much better if you want to go with IP fabric, because in most scenario we don't have we have this type of methodology, because in some scenario we have some type of Juniper or might be HP switches are there, and different site this scenario help us to migrate different, like if you're having HP switches or something, this type of system will allow us to migrate easily. So because you're having RTA router and everything coming to RTA router, and you can migrate it easily without having any kind of downtime. You can do migration side by side. Well, I recommended you to do a lot of uh, planning before migrating the site. You have to list down what are the networks and how you're going to mitigate the networks. In the next video, probably we're gonna talk about the security. Well, the things that I first like to tell you about security before we go, I will just close the call. Okay, sorry, the video. Deployment sections are there. This is Cisco deployment. Okay, now it's working perfectly fine. We need to enable these services. If you're going to do SGT tagging, you need to enable SXP services. You need to enable the PX grid to integrate. Anyway, if you're going to integrate the PX grid, and then we're gonna configure, probably by in the next video I will show you how to integrate with the Cisco ISE. Okay, thanks a lot. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot for viewing this video. Bye.